Good morning. Today's message will come from the book of St. Matthew. The book of St. Matthew. I'll read to you verse 69, 71, and 73. St. Matthew 26, 69, 71, and 73. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou was with Jesus of Nazareth. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth them. This morning I want to use for a subject this morning. Can they see Jesus in you? Can they see Jesus in you? Very important question this morning, because so many times in life we spend a lot of time in the mirror. We spend a lot of time fixing up and combing our hair and making up and all those good things. There's nothing wrong with it. But sometimes we wonder, we're fixing up to look like myself, or are we fixing up to look like someone else? This morning, can they see Jesus in me? As children of God, we should be guilty of acting like Jesus. I want you to hear these words I'm saying to you today. As children of God, we should be guilty of acting like Jesus. Not only that, we should be guilty of talking like Jesus. Are you guilty of these things? Also, we should be guilty of forgiving like Jesus. We should also be guilty of loving like Jesus. We should be guilty of giving like Jesus. We should be guilty of helping like Jesus. And on and on and on. Are you guilty? All that you say Jesus is and has done in your life, as well as the life of your family and the life of your friends and others, and all that we speak and say about Jesus, somebody should be including you and me. Somebody. When I say somebody, I'm talking about you and me. Somewhere, somebody should be found guilty of trying to be just like Jesus. And I'm going to go a step further and ask, have people ever mistaken you for Jesus? Very potent question. But I just read you should be guilty of acting like him. You should be guilty of giving like him. You should be guilty of loving and forgiving and all those things. Have anyone ever mistaken you for Jesus? Have you ever heard someone say, you know what? You acting just like Jesus. Oh, what a good friend you are. You giving just like Jesus. You helping just like Jesus. You standing by just like Jesus. I can depend on you just like Jesus. Very strong question today. Because as children of God, we should live our lives hoping that others can see Jesus in us. Someone asked, when you're in the mirror, you're dressing up and you're fixing up. Have you ever said to yourself, I'm trying to look just like Jesus. I'm trying to get the appearance of Jesus. That's our goal. That's Christ's goal. Hoping that others can see Jesus in us. And when they see Jesus in us, hoping that they can begin glorifying our Lord and Savior. As children of God, the songwriter asks, how do you know Jesus live? I hear you talking about Jesus, and I hear you encourage us to go to church. I hear you telling us about what Jesus has done for you and all those things. But how do you know that Jesus lived? Well, I know he lived, and I know that Jesus is real because he lives within my heart. You know that because he lives within your heart. We all, as his children, should be living the Jesus story. Not only telling it, but we should be living the Jesus story. We should be living the Jesus life, not wearing it on our bracelets, not wearing it on our necklaces. What would Jesus do? We should be living it. Our prayers should be, when people see me, I pray that they see Jesus in me. When they see me, I hope that they see that I'm acting like Jesus. When they hear me, I hope that they hear me speaking like Jesus. It's not enough to say. It's very important. You have people all over the world that say that they're a child of God, they're Christians, but we have to be reminded today it's not enough to make a claim. It's not enough to say, I am a child of God. Not enough to just profess it, but we have to be a living testimony. The songs say, may the work I do speak for me. They can see Jesus in me by the work I do. May the service I give, they can see Jesus by the service I give. Speak for me. May the love I give speak for me. Y'all know the song. May the forgiveness I give speak for me, and on and on and on. No, we are not Jesus. I want you ever to get that wrong. We are not Jesus. But having Jesus inside of us shall show in our walks of life, shall show in how we treat others. Somebody should be seeing something different than just this right here, this outer appearance. The Bible states you can tell my disciples by the way they show love one for another. And if it's any time we need love in this world today, it's times like these. You are the light of the world. Know that. When you look in that mirror and you're getting dressed and you're combing your hair and you're fixing your face, whatever it is, I want you to say to yourself, you know what? I'm fit to go out into the world, and I am the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it underneath a basket, but places it on a stand so they give light all through the house. In the same way, you and me ought to let our light so shine before others that somebody should be seeing Jesus in us, so that they may see your good works and begin to glorify your God. Can they see Jesus in you today? When I'm asking you, I'm asking myself, can they see Jesus in me? Have you ever really asked yourself this question and honestly answered? The commentary in this series, very honest question. You know, can they see Jesus in me? This morning I was reading the commentary, and the commentary spoke of a young man that sat by the train station day after day, just sitting there on the sidewalk. One day he spoke to this lady and said to her, "Excuse me, ma'am, but I want to thank you." She looked at him and said, "Thank me for what?" He said, "Ma'am, every day I see you, you come by, you smile and say good morning as you pass by. And one morning as you passed by, I saw that you had a small Bible in your hand. So I brought me one. And through reading that Bible, I found Jesus." What a living testimony. In my life, he said, not only did I find Jesus, but my life has been changed since then. That man saw something in that woman that touched his heart. What did he see? He saw Jesus. He saw that Bible. He saw the words of God through her life. All of us should be a living testimony on behalf of Jesus. Not on program time, not on holidays, not on special occasions, but on a daily basis in our walks of life. One thing is certain, people are watching you. People are watching me. Just like this man that sat daily by the train station. The lady had no idea he waited daily just to see her smile. He waited daily just to hear her say good morning. Plus, she had no idea he had seen her small Bible. But he did. And through her walks of life, he came to find Jesus through her. What a living testimony today. Can they see Jesus in you? Can they see Jesus in me? I pray the answer is yes, because God has placed us all in a position where we are to be guilty of acting, looking, helping, just like Jesus. He has placed us all in a position where we can let our light so shine before men. That light being Jesus Christ, because Jesus is the light of the world. No man can dim your light. No circumstances shall dim your lights. No problem shall take away your shine. In times like these, we ought to be a living testimony. Now, so more than ever, we need to have our lights on. We need to be shining. We need to be beaming our rays of Jesus now so more than ever, because we are the light of the world. When you're looking at the mirror, just see that I am the light of the world. I'm fit to go out in a dark and troublesome world. I'm fit to go out in a dark and troublesome workplace. I'm fit to go out in a dark and troublesome school. But guess what? I am the light of the world. Because we are the light of the world for Christ in a dark and troublesome world, as children of God, we are to be breathing like Christ, walking like Christ, testimony like Christ. Be a testimony to the power of what Jesus Christ can do for me as well as others. Not so much tell somebody about it, but be about it. In our sermon text today, as Jesus prepared the disciples, he invited them. He said, I want you to watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. If any time we need prayer is right now, every day. Because verse 51 states, the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. After putting in his request, Christ came and found the disciples. And how did he find the disciples? He found them sleeping again. And Jesus said, sleep on now and take your rest, because the hour has now come. Do you know the story? You know the story about Jesus. Jesus knew that one of his disciples was getting ready to betray him. Not only did he know, but he knew exactly which one. Sure enough, Judas said, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. The one I kiss is the one. Be sure to grab him quickly. Now come, Peter, the one that said, Jesus, I will never leave you. One of his beloved sons. Keep in mind, one of Jesus' chosen disciples. One of the ones that others should have been able to see Jesus through. Verse 57, and they that had laid hands on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest. The point I want to share with you today is in verse 58. We can be so close, but yet so far away. Our speech can get us so close, but yet so far away. The way we walk, the way we talk can be so close, but yet so far away. This suit, the clothes we put on, can bring us so close, but yet so far away. Peter followed Jesus afar off. Remember I told you that was his chosen one. That was his disciple. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace. Peter was the one that said, I love the Lord. Yes, I am one of your chosen. But how far are you following Jesus today? Peter walked with him. Peter ate with him. Peter prayed with him. Peter lodged with him, but was following him afar off. So close, but yet was so far away. Hard for others to see Jesus in you. Hard for others to see Jesus in me, following him afar off. Let's look and see what happened in verse 69. And I'll come to a close when I read these verses. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also was with Jesus of Galilee. Somebody has seen Peter following Jesus. So close, but yet so far away. But Peter denied before them all. Listen to what Peter said. I know not what thou said. Verse 71. And when he had gone out on the porch, another maid was also said he was also with Jesus of Nazareth. Although Peter was not letting others see Jesus in him, they was able to identify him as the one that was following Jesus, so close, but yet so far away. Verse 52, and again, 72, and again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. So close, but yet so far. I do not know the man. And after that, in verse 73, 73, and after a while, those that stood by came and said to Peter, Surely, thou also art one of them, because of your speech. Your accent have given you away. Not because they saw Jesus in him, but his accent had given him away. But because of his speech, then Peter began to curse. Peter began to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. Then Peter remembered the words of Jesus, which said, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went away bitterly. Are you denying Jesus today? Are you following Jesus afar off? Are you claiming to be close to Jesus, but in reality is yet so far away? Are you, or perhaps you are a sermon text today, can others see Jesus in you? In all that you do, we want our life, our walk, to be pleasing to God. And in pleasing God, we want to be able to share Jesus with others. In pleasing God, we want others to see Jesus in us, not by what we say, not by what we have, not by what we wear, but see Jesus in our walks of life. Share Jesus with others by allowing them to see Jesus in you, to see Jesus in me, not every now and then, not on special occasions, but to see Jesus in us on a daily basis. Our prayers should be, let me live a life pleasing to you so that others can see Jesus in me. You hear so many times people say that they will never be a model. You know what? I could never be a model. I just don't have it. I am not model material. Well, today in closing, I want you to know that I beg to differ. All of us are modeling material. I encourage you today and remind you today that yes, you can, and yes, you are. Watch my walk. Watch my talk. Watch my love. Watch my forgiveness. Watch my shine. Remember, God is counting on you to be a role model for Jesus. You are a role model for Jesus. God is counting on you to let others see Christ through you. Are you modeling Christ in your life today? If not, today is a day to begin your modeling career and letting others see Jesus in you. You can do it. May God bless you this hour, this day. Thank you.